This is Channel 4, and a whole community stands to learn from a primary school in Leicestershire, Hazel's children.
Community education started in Britain with the Cambridgeshire village colleges of the 1930s. It's a system that combines adults and children in both education and leisure. Today it can be found in 29 local education authorities throughout the whole country. There are over 60 community schools in Leicestershire, ranging from primary schools with community centres attached to fully integrated secondary schools, the community colleges. They're all different, and each school reflects the specific needs of its neighbourhood. Hazel Primary School in the middle of the City of Leicester started its community activities about 6 years ago.
I believe that all schools should open their doors and extend their education out into the community, particularly in inner city areas. Because a lot of our adults, they didn't succeed in this system at all, this educational system that we created in the past. They had bad feelings about schools, school buildings, because to them it was failure. And therefore they passed these feelings on to their children. So if they came into this school 5, 6 years ago, they were very much on the defensive. They came in to sort us out, fists clenched, very angry. They didn't understand. They didn't want to understand. They saw us as the enemy. Now, you can't really change that unless they come in themselves on their own terms and are accepted for what they are. So you've really got to meet their needs as well as their children's needs. We started, first of all, very simply with a mums and toddlers group. And everyone said it won't work, that they won't come in. Give them a week and they will all disappear. And after a week, they wanted more sessions. That grew. And then through the mums and toddlers group, we found that a lot of them were struggling with money problems, social security problems. And they were asking us to help. And we didn't know the answers. So we set up a welfare rights desk, brought another worker in, and one afternoon we had a welfare rights desk. Then a child minding advice session. The whole thing just grew, but it grew out of needs that they told us about, not things that we thought they needed.
Go. 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 You can see this book if you can find it.
Go. Go to my book na tleva vina che. Tomar khabar
Ba, third one. Ba.
It's like casting your bread upon the waters. You get an awful lot back. And that makes it very cost-effective in terms of manpower. There are a lot of things in a school that other adults than teachers can do. And that's where we gain. I don't see myself educating children to move out of this community to be successful. I educate them to be successful where their roots are within this community. If they want to be mobile, fair enough. But it isn't essential because what they have here is good. There's a lot of good aspects. They have a lot of strengths that middle-class children don't have. One of our classes are getting involved in a photography project. 2 children are going off to Moat Community College in the City of Leicester, which is not very far from Hazel School. Another couple of children are going off to Donington Community College, which is about 30 miles away in the county. They will be taking photographs, and hopefully when they're printed we can look at them as a group and see the contrast between the different schools.
Morning. Hi, Duncan. Hi, Becky. Welcome. We'll take you in and we'll have a look around the school, and you'll see it's not quite like other schools. There's all sorts of other things going on, but you can come and ask me any questions you like about it. Okay, come on then. My name's Paddy Hall, by the way. Okay, in you go. We'll shoot up down this corridor over here then. Okay, once around the corner, I hope you got that right.
So many cubic centimeters or so many cubic millimeters.
Do you have to get a row across?
Yeah. Oh, you can do it downstairs if you want. Yeah.
Volume of a cylinder, base area.
Design it next. Pardon? Design next. Or is it art? Yes, it's got to be design.
Just for the fabric.
Excuse me, what year is this?
These are 4th years.
Why isn't there any boys?
Well, these students choose in their 3rd year, and it just happens that none of the boys chose to do it this year.
Is it hard? It's not that hard.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Which one of you is Jenny, which one of you is Claire?
I'm Jenny.
And you're Claire. Well, welcome to Donington Community College. Did it take you long to get here?
Yeah. About hour and a half, something like that.
Did you come through all the villages?
Yeah.
Did you? Well, there's about 700 pupils here at the school, and half of them come from all those villages that you drove through, and the other half come from Donington. So there's lots happening today. Shall I take you in and show you around?
Yes, please.
Come on then. And I want to show you everything. So everybody's expecting you. So I'll take you through. I understand you want to do a photographic project, is that right?
Yes.
Et Tim, tu habites où? Tu habites Castle Donington? Je suis anglaise. Répétez. Je suis anglaise. Très bien.
My name is Karina Hollingworth. I am 13 years old and I am a pupil at Donington Community College. All the children who attend our college are aged 10 to 14 and they come not only from Donington but also from the villages of Cakeworth, Hemmington, Lockington, Longwatton, Dyersworth and Breedon. Because it is a community college, the facilities are used by adults as well as children, especially during the evenings, but also during the day.
What exactly are we doing?
Well, over the past few weeks, my English class have been making a photography magazine for the blind to send to people around Leicestershire. You know, we don't want them to feel left out just because they're blind.
Aunt Flo learned her lesson. There's no doubt about that. Last Sunday, when she grabbed the chair and sat down on our cat, the beast let out a wild yell.
the specific problems that we're trying to deal with in Castle Donington are those of rural isolation. There are many small villages in Leicestershire that don't have any central focus, and so community colleges such as ours have been placed in the middle of a group of villages, hoping that we can deal with some of the problems that people have when they live in rural isolation. We make available the facilities of the college to the members of the community, and they decide what they want and how they wish to use it.
Good, that's it, good. Get the ball. Inside.
Where that thing is through there, right?
Huh?
I want your whole eyes right down that.
Ah!
All the activities of the college are managed and overseen by a system of councils. The groups of local people who decide the youth work, the education programme, the sports programme and so on. They've got the chance to tell us, the professionals, what they want to see in the programme, how it should run, what they think's working, what isn't. So the 7 or 8 youth groups in the place, for example, will put together a bid for money for the next year's activities through the Youth Council. They'll get their money from the management committee, and then after that they've got a year's worth of work and a year's worth of money to do it with, and they don't need me interfering till 12 months later when they need some more money.
This is the front door.
We ask some questions, and this is just a drawing. Here's a door, and here's a sort of folding partition to make the kitchen a bit larger, give more space to work in the kitchen.
A group of elderly come in and run a drop-in centre themselves, and a design class happened to be going on, looking at the problems of designing flats for the elderly. And the teacher involved said, well, why don't we go and ask the elderly we've got, use them as a resource. And I think it probably affected our students' understanding of the problem they'd set themselves more than any books or films or teaching from the front would ever have done.
Is you haven't got a safe, like, you know, where you put the money.
Would you like to live there?
Yes, I would. I would if I get one for nothing.
I think that inner city neighbourhoods are deprived on 9 counts out of 10. They can't claim to be isolated rural, but they've got the rest in terms of housing, the availability of education, of leisure provision, the sorts of job availability that crop up and so on. And there's a limited role that we can play. We can't actually replace jobs. We can't actually replace poverty. But somewhere in that rather soggy personal dignity area, people can get a grip and run something, and from that develop the skills to argue and fight about bigger issues.
That is the language of your childhood. Your mother spoke to you. Gujarati.
She came here to learn English. How long have you been in England? 13 years. Yeah, 13.
Or orange, or aspirin. you. And more than one, you use some. Okay? Perfect.
What part of the world did she come from?
Born in India.
She was born in India. I've got that. I'll see if we can take a photograph. I'll make them a
This
photograph.
time you've got three.
Yes, we can.
And you can read them for me.
Xem nào rồi em cái.
We believe in an integrated approach to community education. What I mean by an integrated approach is that the message that we're really trying to get over is that we're going to raise the school leaving age to 100, not to 16, so that when our pupils reach the age of 16, they leave with an idea that education doesn't end but is a continuous process. And it's only by impinging on school that our 16-year-olds get that idea, and they get that idea because their classrooms are next to an old people's group, or because they've helped in the old people's group. They get that idea because there are youth activities taking place after school that they can get involved in, like youth work, like the youth clubs, like the fencing club. They get that idea because they are actually working to support a disadvantaged group, like the blind people with their talking tapes. They get that idea because they are involved in community service. So we feel it's important to impinge community right from the year 0, so that people in Castle Donington know that they can get education whenever they like. And in that respect, this community college is a bit like a service station where people can come and top up whenever they feel the need to get an extra qualification, to learn an extra skill, or to get involved in recreational leisure activities.
It's a long way to Tipperary, it's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly, farewell Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's right there.
We've had a look at the school, but it's not just a school, is it? It's a community college as well. And there's lots of things happening during the day and night that aren't to do with school. There's not much room during the day, so we've got this building over here, which is called the Windmill Centre, which is for community activities during the day and night, but only for those and nothing else. So shall we go in and have a look? Well, we've got playgroups that meet here, we've got youth clubs.
Go for a big one, Phil. Splash him everywhere. Looks good on film. Didn't mean it.
Stop. It's a place where the young people who haven't got any jobs come down to relax away from their own home. Somewhere different for them to go. And it's open 3 afternoons a week.
Okay.
Monday, Wednesday and Friday.
How many teenagers do you get here?
Most of them are teenagers.
Oh, right.
There aren't many over. the young unemployed, they get pressures from their families, and it's something for them to get away from that sort of pressure.
Yeah, I've been coming down here for about 2 years now. This is the only place in the area for the unemployed, so nowhere else to go really.
Perhaps there are some underlying political activities that are happening to make certainly people here more aware of what's happening to them in their lives, and what we try to do is to take them from that point to a second or third stage in their lives where they are actually gaining more control of what's happening to them and what's happening around them. Now, in the case of unemployed people, we perhaps do get them here under false pretenses. We give them pool tables, dartboards, and some kind of entertainment. But while that's happening, there are professional staff around to give advice on welfare rights, for example, so that if there are problems with their housing or with their benefits, we can actually ensure that they get maximal support from the government through social services.
Hello, Claire and Jenny. Come on, have a look at these toys. Well,
What are they for?
for handicapped children.
You made some.
We do. Want to try some out?
I like that dog.
Oh.
What's it do?
Press that one.
Oh.
What about this one?
How long did the dog take you to make?
Well, the dog is one that's bought and it's converted so that handicapped children can use them. Some of the children can't use a small switch, and all they've got movement is that. And if they bash it, no matter where they touch it, on there, it'll work, you see. And we get ideas from the playgroup, ideas from the school, ideas from, well, everywhere. Anywhere we look, we try and get ideas from different people.
We're going to show you one more technique tonight. So let's have you all down here. You pull this foot in and push back. Right? You pull this foot in. I think you're holding him down there.
We try and make the college facilities as attractive as possible, and we try to create an adult atmosphere to encourage people to come in. And obviously the money that is accrued is ploughed back into community activities. The Donna Club like to meet at the college because it's an intimate, private bar that they can use comfortably.
We have everything from solicitors to wine tasting to, you know, anything that's popular we try to get.
I'm thinking of going into, this is supposed to be very good, this char grill. Yeah. I've not tried it, I was only told about this today. I don't really know, to tell you the truth, but if you just hang on a second. In fact, I've got to... In fact, is that new? It's not even on my sheet. So there's nothing I can tell you about that. I shall have to tell you when you come in the shop. Pardon?
What goes into sausages?
Well, it depends what you...
I mean, I'm sure yours are lovely.
Well, it depends whether it's pork sausage, beef and pork.
But it was started off originally by 3 ladies that aren't here tonight. And they, I think Donna means young lady, young woman in French, is it? Italian. Italian. Sorry. And they did it as a, you know, a club where they could come out and get away from the children and their husbands and just be amongst friends and have talks and, you know, what have you. But we've had quite a few hilarious moments.
Can you imagine?
Hilarious. When we've, well, just done silly things when we were younger. But
HIRE stands for the Highfields Integrated Youth Activities Club. The integration is between people with handicaps of one sort or another and those without. And it started from a good link between the community and the school staff.
Is that too strong?
No.
Is that all right?
Yeah. Have an orange, please.
An orange?
Oh my God.
Right.
You know, aren't you? What's your
Strong,
name?
you like it?
Rocky. My name's Nastama. No.
In here we have basically children from a special school, a day centre, children from Moat that are present students and past students from Moat. So there's quite a mix, there's quite an age range.
It's my girl.
Basically, yeah, sports teacher's been in the business for about 15 years now. And this is a little sideline, sort of, part of my community contract. So I basically put in one day's schoolwork into running this club and organising it and sorting out the minibus and stocking up with the food and picking up the kids and staying here in the evening and running the whole club. And for that I get 8 periods off the timetable a day at school, which is 8:35 minutes.
At the moment we've got something like 40 odd of the school teachers have exchanged 10 or 20% of their teaching timetable for a bit of youth work, a bit of adult work, a bit of community work. So somebody who's, let's say, teaching in the humanities department may for 1/10 of the time be managing the minibus as a community minibus and putting local people through driving lessons and sorting out trips and so on. Several women's groups that had been at Moat and other places in the neighbourhood came together and asked to make use of the family centre in Berners Street. And the Church of England Children's Society said they would sponsor the activity. And so when they decided that they wanted some formal classes, we were able, if you like, to extend our administrative arm out into the community and say, OK, we'll organise the paying of the teacher and the enrolment and you organise the activity.
Actually, I was teaching at home for the people before, and some of the ladies really want to learn sewing. There was no opportunity for them to start. So another friend recommended, why don't you contact Moat Community College and start your sewing class? And actually, I really wanted to start, so I went there, did my interview. So they asked me to get 10 students to start my class. So I ranked 2 of my friends that I'm starting teaching sewing. So they brought another 2 girls, so I started with 4 girls, and I've got more than 30 students now. Got 3 classes going on.
You've got one with white in it.
Pardon? Oh yeah, God.
all along on the park, on the path, end of main road.
That three-way road, two-way road, yeah.
On the top of Burner Street, that's the place where you need another control, traffic control. That is all.
They're all in this room here, so you can pop in and they'll tell you what they're doing. They're trying to sort some money out tonight, I think. Excuse me, folks, sorry to interrupt. Can I introduce Duncan and Recce? And perhaps if you could spend a little bit of time telling them how the Sports Council works and what you're up to tonight, that'd be smashing. Do you want to have a couple of seats over there? That'd be lovely. And I'll see you later.
Well, we are the Sports Council, and in fact, in Sports Council, all these people you see around are the users. He does the badminton, we got here who does basketball, and what we do is we make decision on how the sports facility can be used by the community here. And today, in fact, we are discussing the fun run at Spinney Hill Park, and this is going to be our first fun run in Highfield.
We have a bigger budget to run the community programme than the school has to run the school. We can hire the building out for weddings, lettings, functions, celebrations, meetings and so on. And after we've paid back the authority a certain amount of money for caretaking, heating and lighting, then we're able to keep the rest in private accounts. We're able to apply to all sorts of grant aiding bodies. And that money, the community decides how to spend. I don't spend anything except small amounts without going to management committees or to one of the other councils of local people. And that's their bit of power, if you like. The rest is influence and debate and argument. But we finally have to go to local people and say, what do you think we should do with this money next year? I can give advice, but it's not my decision. I don't have a vote on the management committee, for example.
Right, we've come to the end of our photography project, looking at different schools. We've sent 4 children out to look at 2 different schools within Leicestershire. Recce and Duncan went to Moat, and Claire and Jenny went to Castle Donington. They took many, many photos there, and that's the point of today, is to mount those photos with those people from those schools and actually display them on the boards over there.
What's the problem? What's the problem?
We want them like this.
You mean you want them like that? And what do you want?
He wants them to be like that.
Oh, hang on a minute. Okay, so we'll remember that. You want them like this.
Right, now Inez talks to. Right. And then you get to do the next one.
Okay. What's happening in these pictures?
This one, you've
No,
got
it's
a
not.
toy place where they make toys for the handicapped, mentally handicapped and physically handicapped. And they buy toys, some of them, and change them into wires so they press big buttons.
Why do
so
they need
can
big
put
buttons?
their hands on. Because some of them can't move sticks and little switches.
What was happening when you went in?
There was a drawing of a house and chatting about it.
Right, so like you're doing research into socks in your project, this group were doing research into what sort of houses are best for old people. So we've got young students designing bungalows, and then who's going to write for elderly people?
We went out into the big community centre.
What, into the...
Yeah.
Where the old people were, yeah?
And we all sang
What songs did you sing?
Long way to take pack up your troubles. And she was a dear little dicky bird. Let's all go down the stride. And when the ball's over.
You have a bar at Castle Donington?
Yes.
Yes,
You do?
and there
You
is...
found that out, did you?
Can you see there that
was the bar.
just over that lady's head is a bottle of martini, a bottle of gin, and a bottle of whiskey. That's the bar there.
Yeah.
Part of it.
Did you see it when it was opened at night?
No.
No, it's very popular. It's a very nice room to have the bar in.
Because we have a bar and that's how we buy all our
You
extra
see,
little perks, isn't
You
it? Like the Morris
community,
men's
and that's the
trousers,
community.
things like that.
We help, well, we try to help, like raising money and things, but we haven't got round to doing the sort of things you do.
People in Castle Donington feel, young people particularly, tend to feel very insular. They're not used to meeting other groups of people. and they're certainly not used to meeting any ethnic minority group. And the tendency from the workers in our establishment is out of sight, out of mind. We're all white, so we don't have a problem.
We occasionally find people in this community who are under considerable stress. I can remember one lady who had literally been marooned in her flat for a long period of time, months, in a situation where there were extremely high levels of racism. And we didn't know about her. She had a child in the school who had developed a stutter and was displaying all sorts of behavioural problems, and we didn't put two and two together. She had saved the bricks that came through her window. They're still in my desk drawer. I brought them back with me. She could see no hope and no future living in that particular flat. If she went out, she was spat upon. She'd had fireworks thrown into her sari during bonfire night celebrations. And her solution was not to go out. We said, well, how would you like some people to come and visit you in your flat? And as you know, Gujarati people are very hospitable and thought of preparing food and coffee. She readily accepted that. And we invited some people locally to come into her flat, and we held a sort of a coffee morning. And that immediately broke down a lot of barriers in a very unofficial way. But we feel as a school that we lack a lot of skills that you would have in Highfields area. We can have a crisis and we don't know who to go to or who to turn to, and a lot of people don't want to know.
The difficulty is we can create a relatively comfortable multicultural setting internally. I mean, there are still tensions, there are still all sorts of problems, but the difficulty is if we make it comfortable, it actually doesn't meet what happens when the kids leave and go out into the city or get into higher education, come across the law, come across employment practices and so on. So there's this awful tension between making Highfields a nice place to live, which it substantially is, and what will happen to people when they then meet the major institutions of British society, which still substantially blame black people for being there.
Remember to get change for the apple from
Yeah, okay. Oi, remember your steps, okay? Really little dear.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do? I got a child and a mother, two little
Well, if you're interested in reading more about community colleges, there is a Channel 4 fact sheet which looks at the vision, history and working of these colleges and also suggests further reading. For your copy, send a stamped addressed envelope to Hazel's Children, P.O. Box 4000, London W3 6XJ, or Glasgow G12 9JQ, or Belfast BT2 7FE.